Okay, good day everyone. We are back in Lamplight City. Last time we shot our partner and let the burglar thief person get away. And basically our conscience is hounding us to find this burglar. I say our conscience, maybe it actually is our partner, maybe there is some sort of supernatural element to it. I don't think so though.
Funny, but I'm glad I don't have a sense of smell anymore. Wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been wearing that coat for who knows how long.
So? Addie gave it to me. Besides, it gives me character.
Right. Brooding detective in a long black coat. That's never been seen before.
What are you talking about, Bill?
Never mind. Remember before you started taking that medicine and you could actually read a book for more than 10 minutes before falling asleep? You were a lot more fun to talk to back then. I always liked that self-portrait of Adelaide's mother, even if the eyes do always follow you around the room. Don't worry, Miles. I don't watch when you and Adelaide are having your private time.
It would be nice if you didn't spend the whole time humming.
I thought you appreciated some romantic music. Cozy little winter getaway. That would be a welcome change from the winters in this city.
What about the nightstand? What's in there?
Miles, care to explain what you're doing?
Just checking to make sure everything that needs to be in here still is.
Right.
Okay.
If you start taking that stuff during the day, you're really going to have problems.
Oh, is it the medication?
It's admirable just how organized Adelaide is. Maybe someday the same can be said about you. Ha, that poster brings back some memories. That's from around the time you two met, isn't it?
Yes, back when Addie was singing at the Angel.
Okay, let's go through the doorway. Oh, is this her?
Look who's awake. Ready to rejoin the living?
Very much so.
You were talking in your sleep again.
Did I say anything interesting?
Do you ever?
You have to admit, she's got you there.
How are you feeling?
A touch groggy. I think I took a bit too much of the soporific last night.
That's what I thought. When you went for your after-lunch nap, you'd barely gotten breakfast down. I saved you some bread and cheese if you're hungry.
Thank you, but I haven't got much of an appetite.
You really should regulate your doses more carefully, love. I'm sure dull senses and an empty stomach aren't much help to your work. By the way, a message arrived via courier for you this morning. I put it on the table along with today's newspaper.
Thank you, dear.
Alright, let's have a look. Message. Let's have a look at the message. Fordham. A big case has come in which I think will interest you. Meet me at Ruin Cafe House for more details. See Upton. Okay.
Upton says she's got a big case for me.
Does she go into any more detail than that?
No, but then you know Upton. Always on a need-to-know basis. Especially since she's been giving me these cases under the table.
To be fair, they haven't exactly been anything of note.
True, but she's still sticking her neck out for me. I can understand why she's so secretive about it.
I think she just misses having you around the station.
Poor Connie. With you quitting and me dying, she must be bored stiff at work.
Anyway, I'm supposed to meet her at the Ruin Coffee House. That can't be right.
It's not like Constance to make mistakes. She must have gotten in somehow.
Guess I'll head over there and see what she's got then.
Okay. Let's have a look at the newspaper. Oh my god. Oh, I hope this isn't... Oh, hang on. Let's read this one. Second bizarre murder baffles police. New, whatever that word says, police are investigating a murder of Colomandoli. Similar one occurred in the borough just last month. Though many details are confidential at this time, we are able to confirm both victims have been male and died from gunshot wounds. The police declined to reveal further details and denied rumours that the murders are being committed by a serial killer. We have no reason to believe that these murders are related, said the Chief of Police, Reginald Snelling. We have our finest detectives on the case and hope to find whoever perpetrated these awful crimes very soon. In the meantime, we ask the citizens of New Blah Blah, especially those in Blah Blah, to remain vigilant and report any and all suspicious activity immediately to a police officer. Coverage will continue as the story unfolds. I do want to read these other ones, but I don't know if they're going to be relevant. I am going to read them. It's up to you if you skip through this. Remembering the HMS Ligeia. This Tuesday marks 3-month anniversary of the tragic crash of the HMS Ligeia. Was preparing to make a second transatlantic voyage when a disaster struck. The airship burst into flames shortly after departing for England, crashing into Foster Park. All 300 passengers on board, including HRH Prince Harold, were killed, as were 54 bystanders in the park. Royal Maverick Lines conducted an investigation and ruled the crash an accident, citing the ignition of a gas leak. Despite this, rumours of the sabotage persist. Royal Maverick vowed to install stricter safety regulations going forward, and the Ligeia's sister ship, the HMS Lenore, will be extremely safe upon its completion. There has been a public outcry and protests at the continued on page 7. Gascoigne Grand Dame dies. Madame Laura Dupree, age 44, died on Saturday of apparent natural causes. Born Laura Chesterton in London in 1800, she and her family moved to that place in 1804. In 1818, she married Colonel Andrew Shepherd, a royal officer of 30 years, her senior. The marriage lasted 1 year, ending with Shepherd's death during a trip to Piedmont. Shortly after, Dupree married Benjamin Montgomery, doctor. They had 2 children. Sadly, Benjamin died of tuberculosis in 1830. 5 years later, Laura married June it's Dupree. No, it is Dupree. Oh no, a banker. Dupree was known throughout the community as a great humanitarian for her policy of exclusively employing humans rather than using automated services machines in her manner. Human services to be held. Continued on page 5. A fairy city. Okay, it's real and it's coming, says scientists. The existence of a fairy city, a substance said to possess both energetic and restorative properties, was first put forth 2 years ago by Dr. Bennett Clark. His presentation at the annual Vespuccia Science Conference at the University of New York was extremely divisive. Dr. Clark claims that that word exists in small amounts on Earth, but is mainly located in celestial region, commonly referred to as the aether. Imagine electricity being hundreds of times more powerful. In addition to powering our lights and machines, it can also significantly reduce the effects of aging and heal the sick. The sky will no longer be the limit. He described Dr. Clark has yet to secure significant funding for his experiments, as his harshest critics have dismissed him as crackpot. However, there are those who believe that. Continued on page 9. Okay. What else we got here?
Building those model ships was a good way to pass the time between cases. Hopefully it'll be a while before you get enough time to build another one. It's been so long since you used that desk. Did you even notice when Adelaide got rid of the chair? Bollingworth Ale, my favorite! And a nice souvenir from the Angel. You really ought to go back there someday. I'd love to see the look on Snelling's face if he ever found out you kept your old truncheon. How are your parents doing these days? It's been ages since you wrote them. Didn't I give you two that clock as a wedding present? Too bad it stopped working. You remember how much time Adelaide had to spend convincing you to sit for this? These days, with ferrotype tech advancing the way it is, these portraits can be done in just a matter of minutes. It might do you some good to look in the mirror a bit more often, Miles. That makes me wonder what old Mrs. Handbrook is up to these days. Adelaide's father certainly had an amazing life. Imagine being the personal barber to the Prime Minister and his family. The gossip and secrets he must have heard. Ah, the Havisham case. Our first time out as partners. First in a long line of successful cases. It's nice to have a memory of the good old days.
Addie?
Yes, dear?
How's work going? You have any appointments today?
Yes, one this evening. It's been a bit slow lately, but pretty soon it'll be debutante ball season, and all the Gascon grand dames will need their hair done. You sure I can't convince you to let me give you a little trim? You've been looking awfully scruffy lately.
What's the point? I've got no need to go peacocking around town. You're the only girl for me.
I like it when you're clean cut. It brings out your eyes.
The way my eyes have been looking lately, I think it's best to keep them hidden.
Oh,
How are you? It feels as though we haven't seen much of each other these past few days.
I've been fine.
Addie, you're not a very good liar. What's on your mind?
I'm worried about you, Miles.
I know, but I've told you, there's no need to worry about me. I'm all right.
You're not all right, Miles. I may not be a good liar, but you can't fool me either.
I am all right. What do I have to do to convince you of that?
You could start by throwing out that sleeping medicine. It's turned you into a different person.
I needed to sleep, Addie. I'll become an even worse person without it, believe me.
I know Bill's death was hard for you. It was hard for all of us. But whatever it is that's bothering you, you know you can talk to me about it. That's what I'm here for.
I know, my love. Your support means the world to me. I need some time to deal with things. That's all. It won't always be like this, I promise.
Making promises you can't keep, eh, Miles? That'll end well.
I've still got that song you sang last week at the Rutherford stuck in my head. You were amazing.
Thank you, Miles. That was a lovely evening. I always enjoy it when Joseph brings out his violin and we can relive the old days.
Certainly nicer than when he spends hours telling the exact same story whenever you visit.
They were very glad to see you, you know.
It's probably the most fun I've had in months, to be honest.
They've invited us for dinner again in a couple of weeks, if you're feeling up to it.
I hope I am. What's that you're reading?
It's a collection of short stories by James Penstroke. It was just published earlier this month.
Any good?
Oh yes, I love his work. He's been publishing a new serial in Brentwell magazine. I can't wait to read it. Perhaps we both can together? I think you'd enjoy him.
Lately, I haven't been able to concentrate on a page for more than 5 minutes without nodding off.
That is a pity.
I'll let you get back to your book.
I love the artwork. Very, very nice.
The collection has always astonished me. Heaven help you if you ever decide to move.
Right, well, I guess we're going to this cafe.
Have a lovely day, Addie.
I look forward to your return.
Okay, so I'm guessing, yeah, this is the coffee house. So we're over here. Atlantic Ocean's there. Watchman River, Rochester, Column, Mundelli, Gascoigne, Fenton Swamp, Lyon. Okay, let's go to the coffee house. Right.
Rouen Coffee House. Worst Java in Lamplight City, but there's no better place to overhear all the rumors and gossip in town. Just make sure you don't get too close to the other patrons. Discretion was never your forte.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Nothing
Oh.
to clean up in here, are they?
Okay. So, serving girl, Constance Upton. Oh, that's Constance right there. Patron.
All that that metal and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee? Self-Portrait as a Desperate Man by B. Calvert. A bit like looking in the mirror, isn't it, Miles? She's running back and forth at lightning speed. Clearly, she dips into the coffee supply. Dr. Tennyson's Vigor Pills. Absolutely guaranteed to restore vitality, youth, and vigor or your money back. For use by men only. These things seem to have had a spike in popularity recently.
Ah, let's talk to Constance.
If it isn't my old friend, up to no good.
Hello, Fordham.
Lol.
It's good to see you.
How did you get them to let you in here?
It's rather simple, really. The owner and I have an understanding. He pretends women are allowed in coffee houses, and I don't report his unsavory business practices to Chief Snelling.
Sounds like a good deal. What sort of unsavory business practices are we talking about?
Oh, we haven't got time to get into that now. But take some advice. Don't order anything that isn't water.
Okay. Got your message. What's going on? Managed to sneak another case past Snelling, eh? I do kind of like that one, but let's just go with...
I got your message. What's going on?
It's time for you to join the big boys again, Fordham. Your days of finding lost cats are over.
So stop teasing me and tell me what it is already.
Do you know Madame Laura Dupre?
Oh, we read the thing in the paper about that. Yes.
Laura Dupre. She's one of those Gascon Grand Dames, isn't she?
That's right. I'm surprised you've heard of her. I didn't think you cared about those types of people.
I don't, but Adelaide has several of them as clients. She gets paid to pretend to care about their lives, and I get to hear the sordid details.
Madame Dupre died the day before yesterday. Her funeral was held this morning.
My condolences.
But halfway through the service, the mourners heard a loud knocking coming from inside her coffin.
Oh.
She wasn't dead?
Apparently not. Nearly interred alive, although her doctor swears she had no pulse.
Interesting.
Son Andrew was quick to suspect foul play. He accused a man named Albert Martin, and the police arrested him.
Okay.
Where do I come in? Sounds like the case has already been solved.
It does,
I
yeah.
strongly suspect that Martin is innocent,
Oh.
especially considering the talk of him having used black magic on Dupre. The police feel they have enough evidence to convict, so they're not bothering to investigate any further. You're going to look into it and see if I'm right, then find the person who was really behind this.
Why not just ask her, has Madame Dupre recovered after the ordeal?
Has Madame Dupre recovered from her ordeal?
Dupre.
Not. Apparently she's been catatonic since they pulled her out of the coffin.
How unfortunate.
If you'd like to question Mr. Martin, he's being held at the Bow Street Jail. Or you could take a look around his house. It's at 451 Compton Street in Worcester.
And the Dupre home?
That's at Emmeline and Comtesse, right across from the old Angeline convent. It's also possible you might run into the police during your investigation, since they're technically still on the case.
Thanks for the warning.
Okay.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about before you get started?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions.
Yes, actually, I had a couple of questions.
Let's hear them then.
Let's have a look. We've got herself, Bill's death, review
How's things
case.
going with you?
Work is hectic as usual, and I'm spending my day off in here. But considering my home life is still a shambles, maybe this is the best place to be.
I'm truly sorry about that.
Don't be ridiculous. If it hadn't been for you, I'd still be chained to that philandering bastard. It hasn't been easy, but I'm much better off this way. Trust me. Anyway, work gives me something to focus on. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes, and I'm grateful to you for getting me these case leads. I know you're taking a risk to do it.
It's the least I can do. How about you? How's Adelaide?
She's fine, although things between us could be improved if I'm being honest. The less said about it right now, the better, I think.
I'm sorry to hear that. You can talk to me about it if you need to, although I'm probably not the best person to ask for relationship advice.
Bill's death.
Suppose there have been any developments regarding Bill's murder.
Unfortunately not. The department hasn't exactly been focusing on that case as a priority. The general attitude is that it was an accident. Bill died an honorable death in the line of duty.
Would have been nice if they bothered saying that at the funeral.
And of course there are still those who blame you for his death, Snelling being the first and foremost.
But the man who really caused Bill's death is still out there.
Yes, I know, but it looks like you're on your own if you want to find him. My hands are tied. I can only ask around so much before the higher-ups get suspicious. Just don't give up. New Britannia may be a big city, but the criminal world is surprisingly close-knit. If you find any connections or leads during your other cases, be sure and let me know. I'll do the same if I find anything out.
See, she has a priority string. You could learn a lot from Upton.
Okay. Review case.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
What do you know about Madame Dupre?
Only what I've read about her in the paper. She's been married thrice, which I can empathize with, and she's extremely rich, which I can't.
What makes you think this Martin fellow is innocent?
The fact that the only evidence is the word of Dupre's son. I've seen this sort of thing thousands of times, and I'm sure you did too. They're just looking for a scapegoat. You're the only person I know who can put it right.
Upton's intentions are noble, but she has to realize this is just a drop in the ocean.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Right, okay.
Well, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to help you find the flower shop burglar, but I suppose freeing an innocent man is a worthy diversion.
Yeah, that's safe. Okay, let's go to the suspect's house, because if he gets released, it'll be a bit more difficult to... Yeah, there we go. Be more difficult to if we find something.
We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
Okay, well, let's go indoors.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
I need to speak about Albert Martin. Sorry to bother you, I'll be alright.
I need to speak with you about Albert Martin.
Albert? Are you with the police?
No, I'm a private investigator.
Oh, I don't think you can help. I'm sorry.
Sorry to bother you. I'll be on my way.
Good day to you, sir.
Really?
You again? I told you I have no time for visitors.
Sorry to bother you. I'll be on my way.
Oh,
To you, sir.
okay. Never mind. How do I go to the... Right. Let's go to Dupree Manor. Or Dupre.
You are aware this is private property, sir?
I am aware. Am I?
Yes, I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the incident involving Madame Dupre. I assume this is she?
You assume correctly, Mr. Fordham. My apologies, but I thought the police had already made an arrest.
That's right, but there's still some doubt as to the man's guilt. May I ask your name, sir?
I am Dr. Fellows, Madame Dupre's private physician. I'm afraid she's in no state to be answering questions at present.
Any other members of the family home?
Her son, Mr. Montgomery, is in the entrance hall. I had to give him a mild sedative to settle his nerves, but he should be all right to converse.
Then if you don't mind, I'll have a look around.
Her eyes are glazed over and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person.
Okay. Don't think much for rich people then.
Probably looked nicer when it was working, but right now it's just a breeding ground for mosquitoes. With her vast sums of wealth, Madame Dupre could probably feed a starving family for the next 30 years. Instead, she uses the money to keep her hedges trimmed.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
Tell me about Madame Dupre.
She is a great woman and a pillar of the community. I cannot imagine why something like this could happen to her, or how someone could be capable of such a barbaric feat. Though this ordeal has been terrible, I am confident she will overcome. The power of her physical constitution is surpassed only by her strength of character.
You think he'd say the same things if he wasn't on her payroll? I highly doubt it.
What were the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre's supposed death?
Her son, Andrew, sent for me a few days ago after finding her unconscious and unresponsive. As I was unable to detect a pulse or breath, I had no other recourse but to declare her deceased. I judged that Madame Dupre had likely suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. It was most shocking to be proven wrong at a funeral.
I can imagine. Where was the funeral held, by the way?
St. Denis Cemetery. Madame Dupre wished to be interred in the tomb of her father's family, name of Chesterton.
Perhaps I'll go have a look.
Okay.
How long have you been Madame Dupre's private physician?
5 years, and I've been practicing medicine for the past 30. I still spend a couple of days a week treating patients at Riverview Asylum.
Oh, good. Maybe if you're lucky, he could be your doctor someday.
30 years is quite a long time. You must have seen some incredible advances in the field of medicine.
I have, yes. I can only wonder how things will change with all this talk of ethericity. There's speculation it can be used to restore necrotic tissue and instantly heal broken bones, among other things. If you ask me, a good bloodletting will never go out of fashion.
Well, we know that's not true. Etherism. Okay, that's what it's called.
Did you examine Madame Dupre after she reanimated?
Of course. Physically, she appeared to be in fine health aside from minor dehydration. I found no marks or bruising on her body. Mentally is a different story, however. She's remained in an unresponsive state ever since.
Do you have any opinions on what caused Madame Dupre to appear dead?
The most likely cause I can imagine is some sort of poison or toxin.
Yep, that makes sense.
What leads you to believe Madame Dupre was poisoned?
The symptoms she experienced were consistent with prior cases of poisoning I've studied. And didn't the young man arrested have ties to some kind of black magic cult? There have been reported cases of these practitioners using poisons to make people appear dead, then commanding them to do their bidding. I recall reading about a man in the West Indies who was given tetrodotoxin, that's the toxic secretion from a pufferfish, declared dead and buried. He appeared alive in his village some 20 years later.
Doesn't that seem a bit far-fetched to you, Doctor?
Facts are facts, Mr. Fordham. Surely someone in your line of work can appreciate that.
Okay.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
I'd say so, yeah. Let's not do that. Let's have a look at our current case. A premature inhumation. Did Albert Martin really do what he is accused of and caused Madame Laura Dupre to almost be interred alive, or was it someone else? Question the residents of Dupre Manor. Question Albert Martin in jail. Investigate the Chesterton tomb. Okay. Madame Dupre was most likely poisoned, making her appear dead. Dark magic practitioners in the city have been known to use this method. Fordham. A big case has come up, which I think will interest you. Meet me at the coffee house. Okay. Alright, let's go interrogate the son. What? He certainly looks relaxed.
Hello. Are you the new servant?
No, I'm Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into your mother's attempted murder.
How did you know I was her son? Oh, of course. You must have sensed it with your detective's intuition. I should have guessed by that giant head of yours.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, I'm fine. Much better than when those pesky police officers were snooping around earlier. But I like you, Mr. Fordham. I can already tell you're not like them at all. Please, call me Andrew.
Yes, well, I'll have a look around and I may need to ask you some questions. Do you think you can handle that?
I can. In fact, I really look forward to it.
If the good doctor gave him a mild sedative, I'd hate to see what the stuff you take would have done to him.
Yeah.
What a beautiful parrot. Must have cost the Dupre's a cool copper. Dupre looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life.
Just looking for things there.
Suppose that's for the bird. Or perhaps so the Dupre family members can get a good look at themselves on the way out of the house.
Ooh. Okay, that appears to be it. Oh, I can talk to the parrot.
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
What?
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
Wow, okay.
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey.
Who's a pretty bird?
Oh, whoops.
Ray's a pretty bird.
Ray,
So
okay.
long, birdie.
Bye-bye.
I wonder if that's a reference that I don't know. Most likely.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
What?
How do you typically
Oh,
spend your
oops.
days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. Nothing as exciting as what you do, I'm sure. Ooh, tell me, do most bad people start crying when you catch them? I'll bet it's a laugh riot to see them sobbing away.
No, Mr. Montgomery, most of them don't.
Well, that's a real shame, isn't it?
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
She came back from the dead. I couldn't believe it. My mother, resurrected, just like Jesus.
Yes. I heard you're the one who accused Mr. Martin of the crime.
Oh, no, I already talked to the police about that. I don't want to think about it right now.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
I like looking at him. He has such pretty colors, doesn't he?
That he does.
You know, I've always wondered what he might taste like. Is that bad, do you think?
I really couldn't say, Mr. Montgomery. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He won't be of any use in this state. If it takes him as long to snap out of it as it takes you, we'll be waiting around here until noontime tomorrow. There has to be a way to bring him back to his senses. Maybe that quack outside knows something of use.
Oh, let's see. Has this updated at all? No, okay. Well, let's go talk to the quack outside, apparently. You can give us something to make him alert.
Ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest.
May I ask exactly what kind of sedative you gave Andrew?
A simple tincture of laudanum. It's what I give all my nervous patients.
He seems a bit out of sorts.
Hot? Meat kettle.
It can have that effect, but it usually wears off in half a day or so.
Is there a way to bring him out of his condition sooner?
A stimulant would have the opposite effect, but I wouldn't recommend mixing the two. It could have potentially harmful effects on his heart.
Oh, of course. I wasn't planning on doing anything of the sort. I was just curious.
It's cute how you act like you have no experience in these matters. It's almost convincing.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Find a stimulant to bring Andrew out of his stupor. Oh, let's go have a look, see if there's any like places we can go. Wait, to the kitchen or upstairs? Go to the kitchen first. Oh, okay. Well, actually, that's where I'm going to call it for today. So I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day, everyone. Hopefully, speak to you soon. Bye.